Every YouTube channel needs an introduction, so I'm Mike Stoner, have all my hair, most of my teeth, I've got wood, and need to cut the cheese.
He's got wood, and he likes to chop a lot. Just an old guy who farts around in his shop, he's quite good. He'll make anything from trees you could get a board for when you cut the cheese. Pull my finger.
So today, we're gonna go ahead and make some cheese cutters. Now most cheese cutters, they tell you in the instructions they should be 5.5 inches wide, but 5 1/4 works. This happens to be 5 3/8, it'll be plenty. It should be 9.5 inches long, so let's go ahead and get a piece cut. That's if you're gonna make them solid wood. This one happens to be maple. It can be walnut. It can be any board this width. It can be a combination of maple and walnut, or sapele and hickory, whatever you want it to be, you can use. I like just doing this. It's simple to explain how to build a cheese cutter. So to build your cheese cutter, you're gonna need the hardware, which you can get a kit from Wood River for like 15 bucks, or the place I get them is Pettit Customs. I'll put a link in the description. There's no affiliation whatsoever. But you're gonna need the bar and so on to turn your board into a cheese cutter. And to do that, we're gonna need to measure over 5 inches from the edge, make a mark, and then I line up my doweling jig to do that, because I don't have a drill press that's got a deep enough throw to cut that hole. It's got to be drilled in. You've got to drill in 3 7/8 inches to get the bar as far in as you can. And I just hang it off the edge of my off-feed table and my drill. So take off the doweling jig, got your hole in there, check and see that it's gonna slide in if it's just right. Okay, so the next step is going to be to do a round over, put a round over all the way around it, because it's easier now than after you've got your cut made for your wire to fit in across the board. That way you don't have little defects from your router dipping into that slice. So that's the next thing, round over. So I've got my hearing protection, I've got my Makita palm router with a 1/4 inch round over bit in it, and we'll just get this done. That's it, round over on both sides. Next step is going to be to cut the slot. So let's get over to the table saw and get that done. When it comes time to cut the slot, you're going to want to set your table saw blade so it's just barely higher than the hole in your board because the rod has to slide all the way through. And then I've got a couple of small wedges that they're not wedges, just small cutoffs that I put on either side of the cutting slot, and I need to set the stop block at 3 inches because you want to cut 3 inches on the side that the hole is at. So I just set it at 3 inches, get my stop block in there, and then I'll take these two pieces, I'll put the short one on that side, and the important thing is that the hole go toward the blade and on the short side of the cut so that you get it cut in the right place. So we've got our slat cut. On to the next step, which would be finishing, giving it a sand, and then applying finish. So it's sanded and ready for finish. Total time into doing this is probably 10 minutes. I cut the board. I just used a regular old 1x6 piece of maple. Cut that to 9.5 inches. Drilled the hole 3 7/8 inches deep. That's 5 inches from the right hand edge. Then cut the slot that's just barely deeper than that hole. So now I'll slap a little finish on it and then install the slicing hardware and it'll be done. So the project's all finished. I put it on the CNC and carved a little logo in there, but it's ready to go. What we need to do is just get the rod installed in there, take the round end, stick it in where the rod will pass through it. Get it just and that's set. This is backwards. Put it into the connector. Slide that on there. Make sure and slide the wire all the way towards that little slot in it. Snap it on. Pull the rod out to line up the slicing wire so that it's not rubbing. That's that. Flip it over. Put the retaining screw in, and this thing's ready to put up on Etsy.
Pull my finger